Sports AI Champions. Today we'll be going to talk about range element in OmniScript, and we are going to see how to parse the range element input value to an decision matrix and how to get the output, and that will be updated in the OmniScript OmniJSON data, right? So range element in Salesforce Omniscript is an input component that displays a numeric range as an interactive horizontal slider, right? So it allows user to select a specific numeric value easily by dragging a handle along with a bounded track rather than typing numbers manually, right? So let me just create a new OmniScript to demonstrate the range element. Then we'll be going to create the lookup table, that is the decision matrix, and we can just pass the range element value to the decision matrix and we'll be getting that output, right? So I'll just provide the name as range element demo in OmniScript. Range element in OmniScript, and let me just click on save. So before we get started, please do like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel, and please consider to take membership into my channel. That will motivate me to create more tutorials for you. So from the elements, we can just simply search for range, and we can find under this input section, we can find a range element, and the help text is saying like enables user to select a number from a specified range, right? So we can just simply drag and drop. And let's talk about one use case. The use case could be like user will provide the score. For example, let me just provide the element name of this range element as score, right? So score could be like from within numbers, like within 100, and based on the provided number as a range element input, then we are going to calculate, we are going to see what is the grade based on the number has been provided, right? So for that, we can just create the decision matrix to get that range element as an input, right? So let's just discuss a few things before creating the decision matrix and invoking the decision matrix as part of the decision matrix action, right? So in the range element, as I mentioned, it is just a horizontal slider. You can see this will be a horizontal slider, and users can just select the value from it. So we can just provide a default value as well. We can just provide the step, means how much the score, means how much the differences between the selected values would be, right? Currently by default value of the step is 1. For example, let me just choose the step as step value as 5. We can just provide in decimal numbers as well, in points as well, right? So for the time being, I'm just putting the step value as 5. And what could be the minimum value? For let me just choose the minimum value as for example 0, and maximum value as 100, right? And there are few other configurations like clone elements option, help options are there. We can just provide help text as well, right? So those kind of configuration we can do. We can also, on clicking on editor JSON, we can just enable the repeat option as well, right? If I just make it to true instead of false, we could see this plus icon will be available. We can just clone element, we can just input multiple range element as well, right? For the time being, I'll just keep it to false. So let me just preview it once, then we can just demonstrate like how it will be looks like. So this is a horizontal slider, right? And we can see it is getting increased or decreased by 5, right? Since we have provided the step element value as 5, right? We can just make it to any number. So for example, if I just select 65, we can see the score is getting updated simultaneously in the OmniJSON data based on the selected value, right? So this input value will be provided as an input to the decision matrix, right? So let me just drag and drop the decision matrix in the UI, decision matrix. And if you don't know anything about decision matrix, you can just simply check it out my OmniStudio playlist. There are like 100 plus tutorials on OmniStudio, and in there under this business rules engine tutorials, or you can just do check it out in my course. You can, under this course, you can also find the tutorials on OmniScript expression set, OmniScript business rules engine tutorials, right? So, and you can find the decision matrix tutorials in here as well. There are tons of tutorials. You can just check it out into my channel, or you can just follow the playlist of any Salesforce topic. For example, we have tutorials on Agentforce, data cloud, flow, Salesforce out of the box configuration flows, um, triggers, etc. So I'll be creating more tutorials on that, so please stay tuned. So for example, let me just update the decision matrix element name as calculate. For example, calculate grade. Okay. Let me just copy the field label and let me just update the label as calculate grade. And this will be our data source. For example, the score will be our input, right? So for example, score will be our input. But before invoking us from the decision matrix element from the um, remote properties, so we just need to invoke that decision matrix. We need to create the decision matrix, right? So from the lookup tables, we can just click on this new and we can just create a new decision matrix, and we can just provide the name as score or grade table decision matrix. And let me just select the type as standard and let me just click on save. And from the related, we just need to go to the current decision matrix version. So as you know, means decision matrix can be created in multiple versions, but at a time only one version, means there are multiple versions could be activated, but based on the start date and end date and rank, based on that the correct version will be selected, right? So let me just click on the add column, and in here let me just provide the column header as score, and this should be input, so we'll be passing the input value from here, right? So since in the matrix input parameters we will be passing the value as score, right? So this should be our column header. If we change anything here, we just need to update in the matrix input parameters, right, in the filter value. So this filter value should match with the column header, right? So the header could be input, and the in data type could be, what should be the data type? The data type should be number range, right? So I can just click on add column again, and in here let me just provide the output column header as grade, and let me just choose output, and this should be text, that is good. So let me just click on done, and in here let me just add few rows, right? So we need the data. For example, for 60 to 70, what could be the grade? What could be the grade? For example, let me just select fair, right? So let me just add few rows as well. For 70, means 60 to 70 the score, fair up, 70 and above that should be like good, and above 80 would be excellent, and final above 90 outstanding, right? If I just click on save, and let me just quickly refresh the decision matrix, and we can see that like based on the score, like 60 to 70 will be getting the value of fair, 70 and above will be getting the value good. So if users provide any value within the 60 and 70, within 60 and 70 the value, the grade value will be fair, right? So above 90, same like that. Similarly above 90, that should be outstanding. And the final one thing we just need to do, like we just need to activate this decision matrix in order to be used in the as a matrix action, right? So we can see that active checkbox is checked, and we can see that start date time. So based on start date time, it will also affect how the decision matrix will be effective in use, right? So if we just provide the start date time in a future date, we will not, even if the decision matrix is active, the decision matrix will not be visible since it is not effective, right? So while mentioning the start date time and end date time, that needs to be taken into consideration while we are configuring the decision matrix. So these all tutorials we have talked about in those tutorials, you can just check it out in the courses tab, and under this decision matrix there are like 15 plus tutorials on it, so please do check it out. So let me just copy the grade decision table matrix name. So in here, let me just refresh once so that we can see the decision matrix as a input, as a remote actions, right? So we have already provided our input parameters, and so in the remote properties we just need to search for our matrix, and the matrix name is starting with the letter G, which is nothing but a grade table decision matrix, right? So we have selected our respective decision matrix in here. So we are just good to go. Let me just click on preview and let's see whether we are getting the correct output or not. So let me just select a score. For example, let me just select 65, right? So we can see that the score is 65, and if I just click on calculate grade, so we'll be seeing the grade is fair, right? So if I see from the action debugger as well, we'll be seeing like request data. So under this matrix data, we can see the score is sending as an input, and in the response we are getting, like in the matrix result, we are getting the grade as fair, right? So if I just select any values, any other value, we'll be seeing the data JSON data will be updated, right? So if I just after updating the input again, if I just click on calculate range, calculate grade, we can see that it is getting updated, right? So that's how it will work, right? So we can do different use cases on it, right? So this is a simple use case where we have just sent a range input value to a decision matrix as a input parameters. We can do it for multiple input parameters as well. So I recently created one tutorial on it, right? For example, if we have multiple inputs and we want to get multiple outputs from the decision matrix, the tutorial you can just check it out. I'll be adding that tutorial link in this video description. So that's all for today's demo. So we have talked about today regarding the range element in OmniScript, and we have passed the range element input value to the decision matrix, and we are getting the output along with, right? So we have talked about um, different configurations of range elements. For example, the lowest selectable numeric value, this minimum value we have talked about. We have talked about the maximum value, how to configure the maximum value. We have talked about the step element, that is the interval or increment between the selectable values, that is the setting a step. 5 ensures the sliders moving from 0 to 5, 10, 15, etc., right? So, and default value, we can just check it out, like initial starting position of the slider handle while the step loads. For example, if I just choose the initial default value is 50, and if I just click on design, we'll be seeing the defaulted value is 50, right? So automatically the value score is 50 is being selected. We can just update it to update the range element value. So that's all for today's demo. In the next tutorial, we'll be going to see more about the range element. We can just customize the range element as well. We can format the range element. We can just use the repeat element component as well. For example, let me just make it to true again, and let me just preview. We'll be saying we can just add multiple range elements as an inputs, right? So we can see that. Let me just update the value to 85. So we can see that this plus icon is available. So if I just select, we can see that. So another value we can see. So if I just select, we can just make it another clone another value, and we can see that under the score array, these values are getting stored like this, right? So we are going to see multiple use cases in upcoming tutorials and upcoming sessions. So please don't forget to like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel, and if you like this video, please do consider to take membership into my channel. That will motivate me to create more tutorials for you. So I'll be uploading more tutorials on Salesforce Omnistudio, Data Cloud, as well as Agentforce topics. So please stay tuned, and thanks for watching.